I'm Ashton Lopez.
I'm Stuart Smith.
All right. So what is our project? Our project was an app designed to be a companion to the GoArmy.com website. And its main function, or its main key aspect that we were going for, we were focusing on recruiting and getting people interested in joining the Army and getting them connected with recruiters so that they could find any information they need and possibly join the Army. Its main function was for the recruiters, but there's also general information about the Army that one could need to find about the Army if they're interested. And we also have it set up to where you can talk to any recruiter near you and you just put in your zip code. And it's really helpful and easy, user-friendly tool for that.
So why was it necessary? The current Army app is slightly outdated, and it was not necessarily the most reliable or the most compatible. A lot of platforms, it had a lot of bug issues, etc. And as well as not being a companion, it was focused more towards actual active duty people. Like if you were in Afghanistan or something, you could pull it up and it would have a lot of information. So this is more for like just the common person. So how is it done? We used Microsoft Visual Studio 2013 in C# to go ahead and just build up a little bit of a framework, and that's how we were going to code it and get it through the process, and we were going to focus it at first on Windows Phone, and then if it was successful, move it over to iPhone and Android.
At first we were doing all right, but then as we continued through the year, we ran into some problems. And one of the big problems was that it was really difficult to make the app. It was really long and it was hard to understand, and we just didn't have any more time left. And so we wanted to make an outline for the kids next year to work on it. So they know kind of where we left off and how to finish the app, to create it.
And so some advice for the future. My advice would just be time management is golden. That's the thing that we found out. We found out about midway through the first semester how important time management was. I mean, it's just, if anything that you have to get down pat. I mean, you can look up YouTube videos on how to code. You can look up other people's frameworks, but you need to have time management.
It would probably help too if you had a little bit of knowledge in how to do some coding too, so we don't have to completely learn it before.
That takes a long time.
So, do you have any advice in it for any future groups?
I mean, the main thing is don't do it if you don't know how to code or if you don't like it, because it's going to occupy a lot of your time, and it's also going to be a very long and probably stressful process because coding is very difficult.
And communication is key. Make sure you talk with your group and understand what you're doing, and everybody knows everything. It's not just one person.
So that's a quick overview of the Army app.
Do y'all have any questions for us?
Yes. First of all, cool using Prezi. Well, I've got so many questions. First of all, why Windows Phone? I mean, what types of phones do you all have?
I have a Samsung Galaxy S5.
So Android,
iPhone.
iPhone.
I did Windows Phone and C# because I already know quite a bit of C# and C++.
Gotcha.
And I've used Visual Studio before.
So you went with what you knew. Because as for like, if it's an Army app, if you were working with that, did you work with Army? Any recruiters or anything on this?
My uncle he's actually a recruiter.
Okay, cool. I was just saying, so did you, I assume you pinged him on like, what are you looking for, or what would you like to have in an app and stuff? What I would have loved to have seen in your presentation is, once you realized you probably weren't going to code it, I would have just started creating mock-ups, visual mock-ups of what you'd like your app to use, showing what the pages could look like. Then you're not reliant on the coding itself if you knew that wasn't working out, and then you'd actually have a framework that also apply to your different frameworks, platforms and stuff. I've done a little iOS stuff, and I ended up giving up because I didn't have the time myself either. And one of the main things I was looking at was the cross-platform capability, and I know there are some development programs out there that have cross-platform capability to where in theory you code it in one and it's able to do it across all the others. Some people don't recommend that because it's not as clean, but I would still probably prefer it because I wouldn't have to do it 3 times. But I'm sure other people much more familiar in the industry or at least coding might have a different opinion. But anyway, those were some of my thoughts.
How far did you get in the process?
Well, around Christmas time, I finished about my education in cleaning up C#, and that's really when I started like hard coding it. And we got I didn't get quite a working framework up yet, but I got a visual representation of just the outline. I got the actual setup done, and then I realized it's February. Uh-oh.
And I had been working on the design of what the app would look like throughout while he was doing that. And so I pretty much finished the design of what it should look like. So.
Do you have any idea of the cost to set up this app?
It was, at first we thought it was a lot more, but then we realized that I found that a free version of Visual Studio that we could have used because I had already paid for it, I bought it, so we all could use it for free. So that was a big cost down. And then C# publishing isn't that much, and then the web domain is like $2. But then the actual development, it got up to like the $1,000-ish.
As well as the copyright and licensing for it?
Yeah, the copyright and licensing never got figured out because we didn't have anything to present for like an actual hard thing to apply for a copyright or a.
So how much did you all spend?
We spent like a total, not much. I don't think did we spend anything?
I think you had most of
Yeah,
what we needed.
I already had a lot of what we needed already on my computer.
Yeah.
Is that anything else?
I guess the only question I would have is, a really interesting concept, is how far are you? If the project is here, where are you in all of that? How far along for the next group to come in? Are you here and they gotta go there, or are you halfway, or?
Well, we've basically gotten all the nasty early stuff out of the way. We've already found a program that they can use.
Have a design for it.
We have a design for
And all the
it. We already
research.
have a slight framework for them. All they have to do is we have the introduction and the conclusion done. They just need to fill out the plot and like the code.
Is your mentor going to be the facilitator for the next group? What's the vehicle to go from this year to next year?
Well, we can certainly leave his information for next year, and they're probably welcome to talk to him and figure it out.
My uncle wouldn't mind talking.
And they may also know other people as well that bring
But-
in.
Yeah, but I guess the question is, this is a really technical thing that you're talking about. And you've got project managers here. How do you pass the baton to the next project manager?
Well, one thing that we were working with another group with was we actually created a big spreadsheet of times like that required a certain thing. And then, what we did, I think it was Max's group, that we basically had all the time set up. We had a lot of the things that we had, how long it took us to do it. And then basically we have all the information in a research paper that we've done. And that basically outlines basically every step that we've done so far, and then our goal in the end, what we wanted it to be. So we would give that to them, and then they would make of it what they wanted to.
Did y'all do any research as to if the Army already had an app?
They do, but as I said, it's kind of more for like the active personnel, and it's slightly buggy, and
So they don't have a recruitment app?
They do not have a recruitment app and is not a companion to the Go Army site. It is an independent app.
I think it's a video game called America's Army. At least it used to be, I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was a
It's
third
free.
person shooter.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.